All right, welcome back, everyone. So, in this video, before we take a look at price action, we're going to talk about futures, Dogecoin futures, the expansion, the potential road to ETFs, and what that overall means for the asset. So, primarily, but before we get to look at the charts, I want to just really just explain the difference because sometimes people will say, what's the difference between like a future and an option? So, an option gives you the right to buy something. So, if you're looking at an options contract, you can buy a contract and say, I want to buy Dogecoin at 12 cent by April 30th, right? And you have the option to do that. Typically, it's like 100 shares. And if you're dealing with like stocks, it can be like 100. And we'll get into futures in a moment because technically it's a little different. But you can buy 100 at a specified price, but it gives you the right. You're not obligated to. Futures, on the other hand, you are obligated to. It's not a. If it's not a, I'll think about it. This transaction is going to happen. So this is one of the positive attributes for the actual coin, because when you see futures in Dogecoin take place, these are guaranteed transactions. These transactions have to happen. They're contractually have to happen. This is not a right or the potential, or I can close it and not do it, flip the contract. No, this transaction is in fact going to happen. So typically futures are done in commodities. So for example, if you're saying like oil, it'll say you can trade contracts for like 1,000 barrels of oil. Or if you're doing corn, it's 5,000 bushels, and you can do that by like a certain date. And typically they'll close before then, but it's not because you're not actually taking possession of the physical assets. Most people don't have the space to do that anyway, but it gives you the option to kind of push that transaction and make a profit, right? So making a profit is saying that if you say, I'm going to buy some oil, a future on oil for like $70 a barrel, and it goes up to 75. And if that specific asset is selling 1,000 barrels, then you're going to make $5 per barrel on that, because they're obligated to sell it to you when you make that purchase by that specific date. It's obligated at $70, right? So you'll make $5 per barrel or $5,000 profit on that transaction, because they have to sell it to you for 70. So to put that in perspective, let's say you buy Dogecoin and you say, I want a future on Dogecoin for 30 cent, right? And Dogecoin I want a future on Dogecoin for 30 cent by December 2024. And let's say by December 2024, Dogecoin is $1, for example. They have to sell it to you at 30 cent per coin, regardless of what the price is. I don't care if Dogecoin is $1,000 per coin. You are locked in at 30 cent per coin. And the spread between 30 cent and whatever Doge is at that time is your profit. So, you can see the benefit of this here and why certain people will do assets like this. So imagine not having the money, or just having like a margin account, not necessarily having the money or the money you would want to buy Doge at 6 cents, right? And right now, let's say Doge is trading at 15 cents. So now you can come along and say, hey, I want to redeem my futures contract at 6 cents per Dogecoin. And even though Doge is 15, 16 cents right now, they're going to have to give it to you for 6 cents. So now you're profiting 10 cents per coin for however many coins are in that futures contract. So this gets very interesting going forward, because it allows you to not only profit, but also hedge your position. So even if you are a long-term holder and you're saying, hey, just in case I get, this turn kind of like turns against me, I want to kind of hedge this at this number and give myself room to, if I do take a loss, if my DCA is too high, I'm going to do this on like the flip side and say, I want to purchase this at 15 cents. And if it goes down, they still have to sell it to me at that price. So even if it goes down at 15 cents and I say, okay, well, I'm hedging my position, even hedging other positions, right? In other coins, you don't necessarily have to hedge in the same one. You could just be hedging in your total portfolio. That transaction still has to happen. So even if it kind of turns against you, that transaction still happens. So it can it's good on the positive side, but it can kind of get messy on the other side, because like the options contract, if it turns against you, then you just lost your premium you paid on the option. And you're like, okay, well, clearly this isn't going to work out to my benefit. So I'm not going to exercise this option. So I'm just going to let it expire worthless. With futures, not so much. You have to make that transaction. So there's the good and the bad that comes along with it. But overall, for the community, this means more transactions, more guaranteed transactions for the community. And ultimately, if you're talking about price appreciation, if you're talking about coins, if you're talking about utility, the more transactions that's happening, the more guaranteed transactions that's happening, the more Doge that's tied up, whether that be in utility on X, whether that be in retail's wallets, whether that be in businesses' wallets, I don't know, McDonald's, Burger King, whatever the case may be, future contracts, the more Doge that is obligated to transact, the less Doge that there's going to be sitting in those wallets and those institutional wallets, and the higher prices that we're going to be able to attain. So this is certainly a very good roadmap to making sure that Doge is growing and the community is growing. As we talked about in the other video, it's reached over 800,000 coins, 800,000 new wallets in the first quarter of 2024. So that is an absolutely amazing step going forward. And this is, in my opinion, I think that with this step here, Doge futures, the potential roadmap to an ETF, I don't know if you think you can't call Dogecoin a meme coin anymore. Doge is transitioning. I believe it's probably going to be, well, I don't know, probably. I think Doge is going to be the first coin that establishes that real base, and it's going to make that transition from the joke to the coin that got very serious. Doge is doing some wonderful things here. I think the only thing that we're missing really is the utility. If we get an ETF, it's over, to be honest with you. But I think Doge is like building that bridge, and it's going to be that first coin to go from, because Bitcoin, Ethereum, they were all created for what they're doing. They had all this in mind. This is built into the backlog. This is built into the plan, everything from the block rate to the community. They knew this was going to happen. This is what it was constructed for. Doge transition, right? And it's literally blazing a trail for meme coins everywhere. And I think that when we have these types of catalysts coming out, like those 800,000 wallets, we had 60,000 wallets as of a few days ago for March, 400,000 in February, and like another 300,000 in January. When you have these types of news coming out, like this type of news, whether that be with futures, ETFs and stuff, the community is going to keep growing. People are going to say, hey, I need to get in on this. Dogecoin is going somewhere. It's not just a flash in the pan. It's not just a thing that was for 2021. Dogecoin is going somewhere. I need to be a part of this. So we're going to continue to see those wallet increases, people adding it to their portfolios because they're going to want exposure. At this point, when these catalysts keep building like this, it's going to be obvious that Doge is undervalued, and everything seeks proper evaluation. That's just how the flow of the market works. Everything goes from undervalued to overvalued. And I think that as the community is growing and these serious allocations are getting built into the coin, I think that you're probably going to have a melt face scenario. You're going to have that thing where Doge just shoots from this undervalued thing and it just seeks proper evaluation, and it's going to shock a lot of people. I mentioned that the other day when you were talking about like the charts and, you know, my personal preference as far as what I think Doge is going to do this market. And sometimes you're going to have to start looking beyond that. So this is not just a 2021 to 2024 thing. As we build out these long-term catalysts, you have to start looking like in the future. What Doge is going to be worth, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. As we're building out this, as the floor, as the community, as the situations and stuff start getting stronger, you're gonna have to start considering these things. And what does this look like going forward? So I think this is going to be a really positive attribute for the community and really just propelling Doge from that meme thing or that fun thing or that 2021 fad, whatever you want to call it, into giving a concrete area of success among the top 10. And I believe possibly with some of these catalysts like ETFs and everything, it's going to move even higher in the top 10. I think we're going to leapfrog some of the coins here, and we're probably going to find Doge somewhere settling in the near future, probably in the mid-range of the top 10. So that's just my opinion as far as where Doge is going in the short term, but that is the explanation for the actual future. So let's take a look here at the charts here to kind of get an idea of what's happening. So for Doge, we closed above. we're starting a new candle now. So Doge is closing at 15. So reversal confirmed. So this is confirmation here. Obviously, we'll see where this candle is. Not a big move in the second candle, but that is confirmed reversal. So and it did at the 15 mark. So sometimes the 15, you can have that breakdown. Again, this is the perfect place to kind of get it, but it seeks equilibrium. So a lot of people are like, oh, it broke down below 15. You said 15 was support. These numbers, just like it blew through 12, but it respected it on the way down, it blew through. It didn't necessarily blow through 15. We had several rejections off of it, but it's respecting it on the way up and seeing that as a place of liquidity for it. So if you're able to kind of catch those breakdowns, and because even though they don't typically last, that's why I titled the video "Flash Crash Before Rebound." If you're able to catch it, then those are typically great deals. That's how it works. If you are, we'll probably see something similar to this at around like 25 and some of those higher levels, where 25 is going to be a great support. It's going to be like, okay, well, this is the level of 25. It's likely it won't break it, but if you're able to catch it below and you're trying to increase your coin count, that would be the target to do it. Try and catch it below that, because if it does, typically it's like a slingshot in that area and it bounces back up relatively quickly. So, just kind of keep in mind here, we could see this consolidation here for not necessarily consolidation, but sideways movement for the next few weeks going into the first week of April. But keep in mind, you're not going to be able to time it, but just keep in mind what we did last time in this range. So sometime in here, we're going to see a run from 15 to 18 to go retest that. And once we break 18, it's off to the races here as far as for where we're going to run into resistance here in the 20s, because with the community growing and these catalysts that's coming out, we don't know where that's going to be. Or what leg 2 is going to look like. If it repeats this here, we may even run to 30. So before we may treat 25 like we did 12 here and just completely obliterate it, and maybe have a reach down to 25 to grab some liquidity or something like that after we go test 30. Again, those are all possibilities here going forward. So it's not the end of the day. Let's take a look here at shorts because I want to, with the price action here, I know some of these shorts are upside down. They're probably going to try and get out. Let's see here, because I think that's going to be the biggest thing for these coins here, to kind of decide if they're going to get out or hold their positions, because sometimes people are stubborn even when they're wrong. So no major increases here, but there's still some that's in here, not as significant as it was before when they got wrecked, but they're still holding some of these positions here. So we'll probably see, if we hold 15, we'll probably see a red candle here, I say within the next 24 to 48 hours. Because again, nobody likes getting bent over, and the shorts have had a very rough 2024 with getting bent over so far. So I don't think they would like to continue that going forward, especially with these kinds of catalysts coming out. I don't think that's a position here. We'll obviously keep an eye on it, and if we start threatening a squeeze here again, and when they start doing that cover, we have that run over, then obviously I'll report on it, and we'll see how far we go up when they're covering those coins. But as of right now, this is a much smaller position than they had before, so they're certainly being careful. These are people that have, most of their positions are probably like 13 cent, 12, 13 cent, probably 14. So they're not terribly upside down right now, but the majority of them are red, but not red enough where they've lost hope as far as returning a profit. So we'll have to kind of see what happens over the next few days here. But I imagine if we hit 16, start flirting with 17, we'll see them kind of make their exit, right? Exit stage left. Huh? So with that is Dogecoin's futures. That is the impact I believe it's going to have on the coin, an update on chart action. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, we're going to hit 100,000 this year. Just make sure you check. I know a lot of you check my videos out and you find value and you keep coming back, and I appreciate that. Just make sure you are subscribed if you want to continue getting updates, and hit the notification bell, because sometimes as things kind of get moving here, you kind of get lost in the sea. So I want to make sure that you guys are getting updates on all the videos and continuing to have a perspective on there that you can kind of add to your own thoughts as far as for your investment and your portfolio. So that being said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'm still working through comments to try and catch up. So again, if you get a response from me at 3 a.m. or something like that, don't be alarmed. I'm not going to tell you to contact me on WhatsApp or anything like that. I'm deleting those comments, but those guys are relentless when they are creating fake profiles. If I block them, they make another one. So I'm still working on that. I'm getting through to all of you guys. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.